in the day, spiritual things weren't really as accessible as it is today. You know, when people wanted prayers or they needed to speak to God and so forth, they went to a priest and who prayed on their behalf and back and forth and so forth. But what Christ did by dying on the cross is that he made us to have access onto him. And God can speak to us directly. We can pray to him directly and so forth. But the issue with all of, I don't want to say an issue of what he did because I'm grateful for that. But the issue what's going on with currently is that there's so many people who are on the pulpits. There's so many people who are on social media. There's so many people who are talking all these stuff, who are making doctrines out of personal convictions. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. They're making it seem like this is what everybody's supposed to do when God was the one who told you specifically to do this. Now you're thinking it's a doctrine and everybody ought to do this. And if everybody isn't doing this, then the person is not a serious Christian. Let's talk about that. Making personal convictions into a doctrine. Right here, Moments of Ethic, we're talking about love, life, and God. So I came across a post on social media and it was, the thing of people were talking about modesty. They were talking about how, women shouldn't wear pants and so forth. If any woman is wearing a pant, they're sinning and so forth and whatnot. And there are people who are practicing this right now, and to each his own, but they have made it into a doctrine. And I'm not just saying that alone. It's just so many things that God has told an individual. Now they're making it seem like that has to be the playbook of everything. That every Christian is supposed to do this. Every Christian is supposed to follow. Every Christian is supposed to live like this. That if you don't do this, then that means that you're not a serious Christian. So go ahead and put in the comment section, what are some things that you've seen that are personal convictions, but people have turned into doctrines and now they're just coming at people because they're not doing it. For instance, for me personally, I remember 2 to 3 years ago, I don't listen to all type of music whatsoever, but I love some R&B. And I'm not talking about the one they be doing right now, okay? I'm talking about back in the 90s, the Tony Braxtons. Oh my goodness, yes. Hey, unbreak my heart, say you love me again. I'm going back, let me come back, right? So I love R&B, I love good jazz and all this. Oh my goodness, I love all of that. And then one day, for some reason, I don't know, I just stopped, I wasn't listening. It was in my phone. I downloaded all this I had the Tony Braxtons, the Babyface, I had the Michael Jacksons and so forth. But I remember, I don't know if I was praying or driving, and I just felt in my spirit, God was saying, go through your phone and delete every single music that is not gospel per se. I'm trying to say secular music because I really, let me just, for lack of better terms, let me say secular music. Go through your phone and delete every single secular music, every secular song that's in your phone. And I'm there like, what do you mean? Like, these songs are not bad, okay? This song is not talking about, I'm not gonna lie, there's some songs I did like R. Kelly, the Bump and Ride, and I don't see nothing wrong. I'm not gonna lie, there's some songs I liked. But most of the songs on my phone was just talking about love. I'm like, Lord, did you not read Solomon's writing about how he was talking about love and suckling of the breast? I'm like, honey, I didn't call the Lord honey, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm like, did you not, you approved it and it's in the Bible. So, but when he said that, I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't understand him. So I went through my phone and I deleted every single secular song that was on my phone. Up to date, I don't have any. Like, maybe I'll go on YouTube and, play it and whatever, but it's not in my phone. It's not downloaded in my Apple Music whatsoever. And even now, once in a while, I will go ahead and play certain songs, but I wasn't listening to anything secular at all. Like, I wasn't playing, and I don't care how clean it was, I wasn't listening to it. So imagine now if I had made that into a doctrine and go and tell everybody, hey, as a Christian, you're not supposed to listen to R&B, you're not supposed to listen to rap, you're not supposed to listen to this. And I know there are people who do that today. I know that. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, do y'all know, for example, did you guys, look, my phone was writing everything that I'm saying. Oh my God, because let me stop. But pretty much there are people right now who are mixing what God told them specifically, and now they're bringing to the body of the church, and they're making people to seem like, am I doing something wrong? Listen, listen, stop bringing personal convictions and turn it into a doctrine. You know what makes something a doctrine? 3 things make something into a doctrine. If what God has told you, if you don't see it in the Old Testament, that it's only implied to you, like you don't see it in the Old Testament, you don't see it in the lives of the early apostles, and you don't see it in the life and ministry of Jesus Christ, it's not a doctrine. It's your own personal conviction. So stop making people feel bad just because they weren't that convicted like that. You know what I'm saying? Now there is a balance to this, because the Bible tells us that there's certain things that aren't necessarily sin, but if it's making your brother to fall, then just give it up. Then stop talking about it. Just give it up. If it's making your brother to fall, that's that balance to it. But what I'm saying is on the other side, where people are just like, you're supposed to men, they're not supposed to shave their, I've heard a lot of stuff. They're not supposed to shave their head. They're not supposed to have razor touch them. They're not supposed to do this. They're not supposed to do that. Women, you're not supposed to, wear pants, supposed to, and so forth. A woman shouldn't, and like they're making these personal convictions into doctrines and making people to feel like if I'm not following it, then I'm not a real Christian. We need to go back and start reading our Bibles, because you are misleading people. You are standing, and I'm saying, Fambo, I know we get this, it's not us, amen? But there are a lot of pastors who are in the pulpits preaching every single Sunday, motivational speeches and things God had told them. Yes, I get it. When people say when God says to one, he says to all, but we got to check. We have to check. There's certain dealings that are specifically to you and not to the body. There's certain dealings that are specifically, it's fashion, it's orchestrated, it's designed just for you and not to the body. So be careful when God is telling you something personally. Don't just be in a rush and make everyone else has to follow this. You got to go and check it. Was it seen in the Old Testament? Was it seen in the life of the early apostles? Was it seen in the life and ministry of Jesus Christ? If it doesn't check those 3, it's not 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. You got to check each one of those things. If it does not check those 3 things, it is not a doctrine. It is your personal conviction. So don't make me feel bad about it because I'm not following it. Now, once again, to balance that out, the Bible tells us sin is not necessarily just because something is bad. There's some things that are just not necessarily bad per se. But if it causes another to fall, then let it go. Stop doing it. I feel like my latest videos have been so personal. I'm not mad or coming at you. I'm just saying, like, I am sick and tired of saying certain, I'm like, that sounds like a personal conviction, but you are, And this is not just coming and saying it's only pastors are doing it. It's some of us, who are in this social media content creation thing, we're coming out, we're saying, as a Christian, you're supposed to do this and do that and do that and this, and you're sinning if you don't. And meanwhile, it comes down like God told you specifically, honey, and you're not even doing it. But so when God told me delete this secular music from your stuff, I could have went a whole sermon about this and say, we need to listen to only gospel. We need to only, no Christian should be singing secular stuff. It's only this and what. Now that's a whole different story. I'm not going to talk about it today. But I could have went in that tangent and continue on that route. But that was only for me at that time, and up to now, it's like you can check my phone. There's no secular music. It's all gospel and messages. But that was for me. And I remember I had some young ladies that I was, that we were all together driving with, and I was sharing with her what God had told me personally, just, because as a friend. But I wasn't saying so she can start doing it, but it's just my conviction. So what are some convictions what are some things you've heard that people say? Just, you get what I'm trying to say. My question, you get what I'm trying to ask, right? So put it in the comment section. I want to hear some of the things that people are saying out there that you're just like, okay. So I look forward to reading your comments, but the whole point of this video is this. Please stop making personal convictions and turning them into doctrines, especially when you aren't even doing it, okay? I'm out. Let me stop being shady. I'll see you next time, Moments of Faith. We'll talk about love, life, and God.